Hey everyone, happy Friday. It's my go-to day, and I'm very happy that you're here. I'll give you a high five just for showing up. Today, I'm recording from back home in the city. Last weekend, I was up in the mountains. It's kind of the winter is dwindling down today. I mean, now. Let's get to the point. Today, I want to talk about some things that I've learned myself over the years in terms of growing and holding myself accountable and just my mindset. How do I stay positive? How do I stay on task and all of these things? Because it's not easy, especially as a solo entrepreneur. Even though I work with my wife, it's still pretty difficult, and you have to always keep on moving and learning and use whatever tools you have out there to move yourself forward. That's the only way to go. And of course, there's going to be days that are not so good and days that are great, and hopefully more great than not. Let me tell you a story. When I was living in San Francisco, I had a good friend of mine, Pepe was his name, from Mexico. He was 84 years old, became a very close friend of mine. And he said to me one time, and I've talked about this sometimes before, so if you heard it before, it's a good story. He comes to me one day and says, Alf, what do the flowers say? What do the flowers say? I said, what? What do you mean? Flowers? Is it going to go nuts or what's going on here? He says, Alf, what do the flowers say? I said, really? What is that? Really? Are you asking me what the flowers say? I said, yeah. What do the flowers say? I don't know. He said, I love you. I love you. I love you. That's what the flowers say. And the principle here is this, because he was talking about how they were growing and he loved spring and flowers and all of that. So you have to live like a flower. Use that as an analogy. When a flower grows, it lives. When it stops growing, it's dying. So you don't want to do that. You want to always grow, always learn, always challenge yourself. Try to be 1% better than what you were yesterday or last week. Even that would be a good goal to have. So always grow, always challenge yourself. How do you put yourself in an environment like that? Many of us work alone, or we sometimes don't have many friends, or we don't have the right friends, because they say the 5 people that you are around the most is what you will become the average of. You become actually the average of what your 5 closest friends are and have been. So that's a very important analogy, because I'm in 2 mastermind groups, and masterminds are very, very important to me. When I get the question, Alf, what's the biggest thing you take with you from living over 30 years in the United States? I said, hey, it's not the schools, it's not the connections I made. I learned how to build and lead mastermind groups. Mastermind groups is 2 or more people that forms a group that goes after a common goal. Doesn't have to be their same goal, but their individual goals, and each person help each other. The ideal size for that, not to get too much into it, it's 4 to 6 people. So if you have an interest in going after something, so this is another example of how I did it. When I had a strong urge of doing something, I built a mastermind group around that, meaning I would gather 4 to 6 other people, no more than that. And I say, hey, I have this goal. Here's what I'm going to go after. Here's what I know. Here's what I've learned. And I think you would be a good member of my group. So I would look after certain characteristics. Do I click with them? Do they seem smart? Are they going to do it full time? Is it going to be their focus? Are they helpful? Are they non-dominating in the conversations? Meaning you want people that are using 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? Listen twice as much as you speak. And are they the kind of person you want to be around? And they're constantly moving, they're growing. So that's the kind of people I would build around me in order to go after a project. So the principle is this: when 2 or more people get together, I actually like to say, I'll test you on this one. How much is this? 1 plus 1. And I hold up the fingers like that. So usually they have to see me and they say, oh, it's 2. No, it's 11. So the sum of its parts, it's much larger than the individual. So that being said, when you are 2 people or more that get together, you form a third invisible intelligence. Or you visualize it over your head that you cannot exercise. I mean, that you cannot access unless you're 2 or more people. So that's when you tap into that infinite intelligence, as Napoleon Hill calls it. So if you haven't read a book called Think and Grow Rich, put it on your list. It's a little weird in certain sections, that book, I'll tell you that much. But he studied the 500 richest men back in the 1930s, 1940s. and the principles they used. And he came up with 17 principles. I think principle number 10 is the mastermind. That's the one I really locked into because I love mastermind groups. So, and they're demanding and giving and extremely powerful because you can take yourself to a whole other level. And then you got to pick the members. I'm not selling that course or anything like that to you here now, but if you're interested in, ask me about it because it's an amazing concept. You can easily do it on yourself. It's not complicated, but you got to have a system about it. And that's what I built over the last 26, 27 years now. So anyway, today is about mindset. And this has to do with mindset because you put yourself in proximity, key term again, of other people that are hopefully smarter than you and doing things that inspires you also. And obviously you step up to the plate as well and provide what experience you have. So I'm not going to get into the details of the mastermind, but it's a very important concept. I have some notes over here. I'm going to look at a little bit. So today I got an email from AppSumo, the founder, Noah Kagan. So I buy a lot of software from AppSumo, AppSumo. And I'll give you a link down below if I remember putting it. It's an affiliate link. So you don't get you don't charge anything more or less, but you help me make some extra money on affiliate links. So one of the things he wrote about today was the 9 different things that really had put him apart, or set him apart. So here's the biggest lessons that he learned. That's actually what he writes. So he talks about having number one, he talks about having a clear compass, know where you're going, set a goal and go after it. So because sometimes our business could be deviated or another opportunity opens up, or somebody want to push you in this direction, but it's not the core value. It's not the core idea what you wanted to go after. So, or there's a shiny object, even worse, that you want to try this and try that. Many people, too many people, I am still to blame myself for that, get sidetracked by going after shiny objects, that opportunities, and then you lose your focus. So that's the first thing he talks about. And then the second one, he says, your market matters. So he says something about your market's future size is the most important thing in a business success. When I started AppSumo, there were maybe 10 decent software tools on the market. So he found a niche that he could go into that nobody was really serving, and he serves it beautifully. So speaking of which, when I constantly growing and learning, today actually has been one of those learning days, big heavy learning days. From early in the morning I've been studying how to get good at YouTube, which I'm live at now. There are many experts out there. I'm starting, one is offering this, another one is offering that, and I found one guy that was just perfect. And I'm going to talk with them later today. Maybe we'll make a deal with them because I need a coach. I always look for coaches too. When I want to go somewhere where I'm not at, I look for the best people in that industry or in that market that I can go and learn from, which I highly, highly suggest you do. Why would you want to make all the mistakes that others have made and spend 5-10 years figuring it out instead of going to somebody and shortcut the process and get it done in 6 months to a year? So that's really what I'm doing by going to this course today. And one of the things that Tony Robbins said, which I just mentioned, you need to be in proximity of people that are smarter than you, that's been there, done that already knows the way. I kind of lost my thought there a little bit. I don't know exactly what that was. That happens sometimes. Oh, yes. So as I'm studying this content, I use tools, especially AI is just amazing. Here's another tool that I bought on AppSumo called Hedy. My God, isn't that amazing? Before I would sit and watch a video or read a book and type in notes. Now I just turn on this app. It not only does it transcribe everything, which is nothing new, but it puts a summary with the action points, and it also has a detailed thing that segments it even more. And then it has a chat feature because Hedy knows things about me that I've told Hedy. So think about like as if you're a party promoter. How would you deal with this chunk of information that I've gotten here now? How can I apply it? And I can press a button and it chats and it spits that out. And so instead of sitting there talking or thinking about the notes that I need to type in and stop the thing, I can go through it like this. And now I get typewritten notes, and I also get an audio recording of the thing. And the owners of the company, I'm constantly giving them feedback because I'm one of the beta testers. They're improving on this, that, and the other. So I'm giving them all kinds of things that I would like to see in there. Lots of ideas that I've given them. Actually, I think they're quite grateful, which is a great thing. So having tools like that helps you stay focused and growing faster. And the explosion that we're going to see in the AI space right now is just ridiculous. So it'll be way more powerful and impactful on the world, I think, in a positive way. Here there are bad things with it too, but phenomenal things that you can do with AI. So yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to mention for you as well. Then another thing, when you're in a mastermind group, you could also decide to have maybe partner up with one person in the group and hold each other accountable. Meaning, hey, here's what I'm going to accomplish by next week. You write it down, you share the notes, maybe in a Google Doc that you both have access to, and you hold each other accountable. Did you do that? Or if you didn't do it, why didn't you do it? Okay, when are you going to do it next? Or what do you need help with? So, and that's what happens in a mastermind group too. We usually go around the room in the groups that I'm in. We get about 15 minutes each. What have you been working on? What have you had success with? What are you struggling with? What do you need help with? And what have you learned that you can share with the group that could take us all to the next level? So when somebody learns something, reads something, like today, I found this YouTube course that I thought was great. We were on a call on Wednesday with my mastermind group in the US. And I immediately sent it to one of my members, Mark, so he could check it out because I knew he was kind of interested in YouTube. I found a course first I was also impressed with that, but then I found another one's even better. So I share it immediately because I'm going to shortcut his process. And I have all the notes too, so I can call him up and see what he says. I can give him all my heady notes, as I call them now, with the summaries and everything, and some notes and gold nuggets that I've taken out from the course, and give it to him so I could process his and speed up his process way faster. Let me see what else in that AppSumo email. So the leader must keep the highest standard. So when you're running your own company, you can't expect that your team is going to have a higher standard than you. You need to go first and lead with a great example. So you don't want somebody chatting behind somebody else's back. You want to cut that off, and you certainly don't want to be that person yourself. That is a big mistake. I've made that mistake myself, and I honestly admit it, which is not a smart thing to do, and I should have known better. So as a leader, you got to go forward with a great example, no question. And he had those 9 questions that he's addressing in this email today. And also getting an assistant. Have somebody take care of tasks that you really shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be working in your business. You should work on your business, meaning working on your business, just to kind of make it clear, is what's the next development of your business. Not do tasks like, come up with a great headline or do stuff that other people should have been trained to do for you. So that's exactly a very important point. And so if you have an assistant or 2 or 3, they should be doing all the stuff that you shouldn't be focused on that could still move people forward. And he talks specifically in this point today how he hired a person of a very high caliber in his own country, and that made all the difference. So you don't want to go on the cheap end for those kind of things. There's very important roles. And another thing, like growing pains, right? The bigger you become, the more stress. Suddenly the internet went out there. Sorry. The bigger you grow, the bigger the problems also are usually, unless you manage them well and have a team that can handle them. So that's just part of the thing. And if you're starting a business, they all say that, but I'm going to say it again. You must do something you love. And it's something they actually stressed in the course I took today too, that I'm going through now. The YouTube course is like, if you're going to be good at something in YouTube, you better be darn sure that you love what you're doing. You have a lot of energy for it. You're very good at it, and you can talk about it all day long. And this is what I can do for the topic that I'm going to go after, which is teaching people how to become kick-ass party promoters or party event organizers. It's not just a promoter, it's a lower term. I think it's not the right word for that. It's definitely an event planner. And you want to be like a nightlife party event organizer is probably a better word for it. So if you're going to go after that industry, you better be passionate about it, good at it, and talk about it forever, and have all kinds of ideas, which I do. I have a lot to give to people that are going to go into that space, and I'll make sure that they'll become successful if they're in the right space. So number 7, taste the dish, meaning your own product. Would you buy it? Do you eat your food at your own restaurant? Kind of principle. So you want to make sure that you test your own product. Is it good? Is it solid? Is it extraordinary? Are you over deliver instead of under? Like you need to under promise, and you need to over deliver and under promise. That's exactly how it goes. That's very, very important. So that's a great point as well that he's putting out to this email. This email I just got just a few minutes before I were to do this live call here today. Number 8, starting. Okay, so it's very easy to start. You're motivated, this, that, and everything, but sticking to it. Get some elbow grease on your arms and sticking with what you're setting out to do. That has a lot to do with how you build up your own support network and how motivated you are and how goal-oriented you are. You need to set a goal and go after it. Once you get to that goal, set another goal. And make sure other people are there to support you. You need support. It's almost impossible to make things alone. Actually, Mary Angelo, that was interviewed by Oprah Winfrey, she said on Soul Sunday, I think it was, you can never make it alone. And it's so true. It's so true. And it's not like meaning that you're not good enough by yourself. No, it's just that we need to collaborate. We need to help other people. Like I used to say to 3 friends of mine that I'm uncle to in the US that now moved to Switzerland, I say, the more you give, the more you get. And they were little kids, like 7, 8, 9. And I would give them a quarter or $1, and then I would get something back. And they would come to me and give me something and expecting something back right away. And then I taught them the next step. I said, it doesn't mean you necessarily get back from the same person, but being kind to people in general, you will attract good things from the universe. That's how it all works. No question about it. So they always remember that. They say, Uncle Alf, do you remember you taught me that? I said, yeah, they still remember that. And I'm very happy about that. So number 9, let's see, building a life, not just your business. So you need to have a life too, right? So you need to set yourself up for success so you don't bury yourself in work and not have anything fun and enjoying what you're doing. I mean, I'm really looking forward to getting into this industry. And the way I see it also is that when I become very successful with my party profit secrets, as I call it right now, I may change the name a little bit, constantly evolving, right? Then I can offer more services to those people that I've helped with that. And then I have a trusting market as well. And they'll see the quality of work that I do and how much I care. I can teach them how to form a mastermind group. I can teach them how to build a virtual team overseas. I've done that for over 20 years as well. So there's so many things that I see as opportunities, but I know I need to go to somebody that really has the expertise on YouTube. That's my focus right now, YouTube. I'm going to go after YouTube and make it there. And that's my goal, and I'm sticking to it. Let's see. There are some other notes. I don't know if there's anything I forgot up here. Constantly help people. So you give more than you receive, always. Or give and thy shall receive, right? Isn't that what they said? But helping people is I get more of a joy out of helping people than receiving. I've become better at receiving because I had a kind of a far away from screwed up upbringing. But my parents told my sister and me, they said, Alf, when somebody offers you something, say politely no. And then we were told on the back end, it's like, Alf, you have everything you need. You don't say yes. So I robbed the other person of receiving, and that's, I can imagine how that would feel if I'm not able to give something, because I get more pleasure out of giving than receiving. So be very careful about that. And I think I think I was particularly bad. My sister and I was particularly bad to say yes to something. We would say no, and we rob the other person of that joy, because that's a what do you call it, a synergy that needs to happen. Yeah, and we also needed to learn to do that. But we more importantly, I think, in many ways, we rob the other person for that joy. Uh, Working in groups is important. Then, yeah, so you want to set yourself up for success, and you do that the day before your next day tomorrow comes. Meaning, write down with a pen, if you can, what you want, the three big things you're going to work on tomorrow. I have my team do that actually. When they send me their EOD, or end of day report, they record a short video at the end of the day, the screen recording of what they worked on. I say, okay, list 3 to 5 things that's your priority tomorrow. And number one is the most important thing. And I want you to think like a business owner. What is the most important thing for me to succeed, have customers that are happy, and we take good care of? It's not the one logo that needed to change the color over here on the website. No, it's the customer and the people we bring in and the service we give them, and following through on them. That is the number one thing. So for me, so yeah, that's my little chat here today. I'm not going to make it any longer than what was necessary. And that's another lesson I was told today. So I'm cutting right there. It's I think we were at 22 minutes, or maybe 20 minutes or something like that, which is great. And I appreciate you coming here. So stay tuned for the next week's lesson. Look through the other lessons. And for the people that showed up here live, oh, something went wrong, it said here. God, hope it's recorded. Oh man, I hope it didn't stop. That would be bad. Anyway, so but please, now I got really distracted about that. But please comment on anything or questions you might have here, and I'll go and answer them afterwards. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and thank you so much for showing up, and comment below for any other questions. Let's see the other comments and partake in the conversation. Thanks.